And so, once again, I slip into my Panda outfit to rant and jest about video games over the internet. It's been a long time since I've done one of these, and frankly there's been quite a lot of good titles filling up on my bucket list, but rather than jumping straight into bed with the newest harlot on the block, I figured it's best that I share my love and intention with one of the older girls that's been quietly collecting dust in my library. If for no other reason than to prevent them from developing abandonment issues and running away from home to work as a stripper or something. And with that bit of charity in mind, I chose to review a game that is not quite down to the set profile to invisible level, but can be very clearly seen from a glass floor if you know what I mean. Loren, the Amazon Princess, is a role-playing game developed by Winterwolves, a team who has apparently promised to deliver a twist from the traditional narrative, in that the player instead takes on the role of a supporting character rather than the usual hero of the story. So after taking the legally obligated standardized personality test as decreed by the Order of Game Developers who now see themselves as gods, I was at last born into the capital city of the Amazonians, where I began my day doing what I'm best known for in the real world, and that is of course being a shameless street-walking sex toy enslaved by people with more money and power than me. What? What's everyone looking at me? Don't give me that look, I took that test seriously. Anyway, the game quickly introduces me to a large pair of melons attached to what I can only assume is the main character, solely based on the amount of screen time she is given, as well as the fact that she won't stop ranting about her quest to find her missing mum, who apparently decided to go out for cigarettes one night and got lost on the way home or something, leaving you with the option to either join in on the fun and tag along, or bugger off to do something else, and you pick the second option by not playing the game. Along the way, we are joined by the usual suspects of the fantasy genre, everything from your skinny elven ranger to your grumpy old man wizard. Not quite sure why all these weirdos happen to be wandering around with nothing better to do than to assist a random stranger, so either they were all fixated by Loren's hypnotic jugs, or maybe the global recession has finally reached the LARPing community as well. Regardless, it forces you to assemble the Scooby gang, do their laundry, and give them one-to-one therapy sessions whenever you're back in the hub area, making sure that everyone is well equipped and wearing their best spandex suits to repel the evil dynamic force threatening generic destruction for the bazillion time. Whoa, wait a minute. Min-maxing the party's gear? Hub-based dialogue progression? Stopping a dynamic threat from destroying the world? I've read this script before, this is just like any other RPG I've played over the past decade. Shame on you, Winterwolf, you promised us something different. What makes this realization even more obvious is the fact that the story is extremely linear and predictable. With little or no meaningful choices, your character has essentially no control over where the story goes and is pretty much stuck to go along for the ride with the rest of these cliché character tropes. Even the conversation scenes appear to be showing the same symptoms as the later BioWare games, where dialogue trees are simplified down to just 3 options with no clarification on what each option has you saying. So whether your character is about to lift everyone's spirits with a witty joke or pull down his trousers and break wind on everyone's face is left completely to the mercy of the script. On top of all that, the combat itself is nothing but a skeleton version of a stock standard turn-based RPG game. There's virtually no encounter I couldn't overcome by simply clubbing down the enemy's health bar and injecting healing items into my own gang whenever necessary. So either the combat is just there to pad out the story, or the developers are trying to teach me the secret trace to becoming a heroin dealer. Claiming this game to have intricate turn-based battles with a story full of twists is a bit insincere. What this game is, really, is a visual novel dating simulator, and not a particularly good one. Sure, the art style is quite charming, but it lacks the extra dimensions to convince anybody that they are looking at something other than a sexy picture painted on the side of a bus. As mentioned earlier, most of the dialogue is extremely simplified, and so relationship progression is not so much based on what you have to say, but rather who you decide to talk to. And frankly, I just found the best thing to do is just to hit on everybody whenever the option becomes available. After which, if you're interested in seeing all the naughty scenes, you simply load up a save right before the final act. Not that there was much to write home about with any of the relationships to begin with, and ironically, out of all of them, the romance with Loren was the most difficult to believe. It definitely didn't help with the fact that my character looks like a skinny white kid from a Justin Bieber boy band with nipples that could take out someone's eye, but the main reason why I found it so difficult to like the lead character was because she was, well, evil. Partly because she was a dirty slave-owning authoritarian, but mostly because she lacks any sort of inspiring traits you normally associate from the protagonist of a story. Everything she does is the result of either other people guilt-tripping her into doing it, or because she just conveniently happened to be around the one magic object that forwards the plot. What's worse is that the character arcs in the story are resolved rather quickly and don't make much sense. At the start of the game, you were nothing but a sex slave, good for only a quick shag and maybe carrying the group shopping. Yet literally right after the first chapter, you were made second in command of the largest multi-race army ever assembled to fight against the existential threat. Like, what the hell, Loren? Either the writers were on strike that day, or the 20 minutes of me carrying a luggage around was enough to convince you that I was qualified to be Julius Caesar. Perhaps there's some social commentary going on here that I didn't quite catch. Like, perhaps what the writers of this game are trying to convey is that women are just as likely to abuse power as men, forcing you to hang out with their obnoxious friends, carrying their shopping all day when you'd rather just unwind at home, and dog train you to respond in only 1 or 2 ways. Women, am I right? Who needs them?